Dear brothers and sisters, when I say brothers, sisters, I really feel like that. Particularly this moment, we really need that spirit. And our usual concept, we and they, is, I think, outdated concept. Now we must have a concept that take entire humanity as our brothers, sisters, and then should consider part of we. That's much better. Because there's many problems which are facing. Essentially, man-made problem. That's really unnecessary. On top of nature, because the problem is quite enough. The additional man-made problem, is it wise? Certainly not. So all these, I think ultimately, are concept we and they. And don't bother about their interest, about them. And worst thing, no hesitation to exploit on them. Cheat on them. So therefore, I always say, telling people, now we need a sense of global responsibility. Think, 6 billion humanity, equal. Just think oneself is actually foolish. Every our sort of move, suppose bring happy life. No one deliberately carrying some work, some action in order to bring problem or suffering. So everybody is moving with the intention to bring happier days. But then because just think oneself and don't care about other, so they, because of that kind of motivation, our action become then unrealistic, wrong action. As a result, these unwanted problems essentially created by ourselves. So therefore, we really need a healthy, proper mental attitude. I think that's very important. I think we pay adequate sort of attention about material development, about material values. Compare that, we pay much less attention about our inner value, about our mind. So therefore, now I think out of our past experience in 20th century, we invented many advanced things in technology with the help of science development. So, but sometimes some technology bring more fear, more anxiety. So now, judging from our experience which we gained in 20th century, now we are in 21st century. I think out of our past experience, now we have to think, what is wrong? Essentially, not working. Test, okay now. So what I'm saying, I forget now. Oh, yes, matter is matter, no mind, isn't it? So the matter utilized by human being, that means ultimately matter used by mind. Something like that, isn't it? And then the very matter of happiness, joyfulness, is kind of mind.
Mental state.
Mental state, mental feeling. And similarly, pains and, of course, this I mentioned this morning. So apologize, I repeat that. So the pains and sadness, these things also, mental feeling. So recently in Dharamsala, on our science meeting, I mentioned it's quite sort of strange. The very basis of pains and pleasure, that's mind. Now, we're much sort of eager to gain more because of the pleasure, more joyfulness, and we try as much as we can reduce pains. But the pains and pleasure itself is mental sort of
states.
Mental states. But we neglect about what is mind. Obviously, I think many people, have same experience. With facility, good facility of matter, material, but meantime, as a person, very unhappy person. I notice some of my friend, not Richard Blum, this is some very rich, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy person. What's wrong? Plenty of money. And with money, and usually, certainly, more friend. But actually, it is questionable. These friends are truly friend of human being or friend to
the person.
The friend to person or friend to money. That's a question, questionable. In any way, usually you see the richer people or have some more friend like that. But in spite of that, as a person, very unhappy person. So then, sometimes these people are still seeking comfort out of money, out of power. It's wrong. If they pay more attention about our inner value, inner science, then most probably they may find more effective way to face their unhappiness. What do you think? Some sense? Thank you. I think this, at this point, I think I can tell my own experience. The very time, the time of my birth, 1935. So at that time, about to start Nazi sort of power in Europe, in Germany. Then soon, Second World War started. Then Korean War, Vietnam War, like that. So my life, whole my life, witnessed too much violence. And also some violence in the name of revolution. I think most cases fail to bring real happy world, healthy world. Still, a lot of fear, distrust, uncomfortable, uncertainty still there. So that quite clear. The material value fail to bring real healthy world. And family level also. As Brahm mentioned, since 79, quite often they come here, and also Europe. So among my friend, one time they had one wife, the next time another wife, then next time another wife. So happy marriage and divorce, again marry, divorce. So those people who have no children, then okay, better. Enjoy short moment, then forget, then try find another one. Okay, doesn't matter. If not thinking seriously about moral principle. But then with children, it's really tragedy. Nowadays, you see children. Children sort of entire their trust, relying on their parent, and divided. I think sad. So these things also is a sign of some problem in the family level also. And then, from time to time, some unbelievable sort of incident, shooting in classroom, innocent sort of student. Also sign of something lacking. And like Japan, I was told, it is growing number among students take suicide. So one time in America, we have some meeting about the problem among the youth. There are, because some medical scientists, some educationists, some sociologists.
Social workers.
Social workers.
Psychologists. And psychologists.
Or psychologists. At that meeting, almost unanimous sort of conclusion. These problems because lack of affection in the family, in the environment. So now in China, people talk about China. As far as material thing is concerned, now rapidly developing. But there are quite a number of cases of mental problem. So therefore, and then is my own sort of now case. And then at the age 16 years, I lost freedom and remain constant fear, suspicion, difficult. Except short period. 54, I went to Peking, and few months I remained there. I stayed there. And I had several meetings with Chairman Mao, and of course, most of the leaders at that time, I had sort of meeting. As a result of these sort of meeting with these people, these leaders are genuine revolutionary. Their whole life truly dedicated for the well-being of the people, especially working class people. Wonderful. Then, particularly Chairman Mao, at that time, so I really developed genuine respect and admiration about his sort of work for revolution. And many party members, many of them, the member of Long March, so really dedicated. So then in 55, I returned from Peking. So on the road, I met General Zhang Guohua. Is the sort of in our autonomous sort of preparatory committee. He was the deputy chairman. So on the road, he come from Lhasa to go to Peking. I come back from Peking on the road in Gongbo area. We met, but then I told him, last year when I coming the same road, coming to Peking, my mind full of suspicion, fear, doubt. Now I'm coming back full of confidence. So then that feeling till 56. So except that period, it's a constant fear, doubt. Then age 24, I lost my own country. The last 50 years now. Still a lot of problem, a lot of sadness, a lot of heartbreaking news. During this period, money failed to bring
peace of mind. Consolation.
Consolation. Of course, I love used to watch. So some beautiful watch also failed to bring inner comfort. And also occasionally some dogs and some cats, very beautiful, but they also fail to bring inner peace. Sometimes my human friend, sometimes even greater sort of sadness, they also complain, they also express their sort of sadness, then instead of sort of bring peace, but more worry. But then only thing which bring inner peace is my own inner value, compassion, and the spirit of forgiveness, and also realistic attitude. These things brings inner comfort, clear. And my physical health also, these inner value really affect positively.
On my health.
Ah.
On my health.
On my
health.
Health. So, you know, I think many of you may not know that last year I went to surgery to remove gallbladder. So at that time, one specialist, the surgeon specialist, there are a few sort of specialists. One specialist described me as a young patient. Then I told him, I'm not young. Now, over 73 years old. So then he says, yes, I know your age, 73, over 73, but your body looks still like 60-year-old. So he described as a young patient. So that shows my mental peace, inner sort of strength, I think really makes differences about body element. So we are same human being. Therefore, I want to share you ultimate source of your happy life, a happy mental state, is within yourself. That I think you should know. So now the question, ethics
for our time now.
Ethics for our time. Now ethics, this context, ethics is just a universal value. Ethics, there are many levels. According different religion, there's a different sort of concept of ethics. So some people, some my friends actually believe the moral ethics must be based on religious faith. I do not think that way. Yes, every religion is based on their own sort of ethics, and that very much related with faith. But generally, as I mentioned earlier, universal value, that kind of ethics not based on religion. Now we can judge among dogs or cats. Some are quite peaceful. So some are quite wrathful.
Aggressive.
So to some extent we can say some of these dogs are more peaceful, more compassionate, so more ethical. That has nothing to do with religion. And then also the kind, peaceful, even young children, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we can see some are more gentle, some are more aggressive. So these nothing to do with religion. So therefore, and then also I think most important, I think everybody agree, and also whether Easterner or Westerner, or whether Chinese or Indian or Japanese or European, I think everybody appreciate others' affection, human love, kindness. And now, most important, the medical scientists, they now begin to recognize the peace of mind is very, very crucial factor for healthy body, and also as a preventive measure, peaceful mind is very, very important. So therefore, everybody more or less agree importance of love and compassion. Now, among the humanity, 6 billion human beings, I feel, if not majority, at least a major portion of humanity, I don't think is really very serious about religion. I don't think. They may claim, I'm Christian, I'm Buddhist, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim. But real life, day-to-day life, not much bother about religion. Like those people who in the synagogue or church or mosque, a short moment seems very serious. But outside, then just usual human being. Not much differences, isn't it? So one my friend, who actually say co-author, I don't think it's without his permission. I cannot sort of mention his name. One my friend, one time we discussed about ethics, moral ethics in business field. Then I told him, God-fearing also, you see, something very important. Then he answered, concept of God-fearing is 18th century. Now not much sort of importance, right?
No, effect. Effect.
Not much effect. He told me like that. So I think we Buddhists also, when there are some Buddhist monks here also, we Tibetan Buddhist monk also here. So we sometimes, you see, we preach other people contentment, but in our own house, need a lot of articles. So that also the indication we are not that much serious. Right? So therefore, now large portion of humanity not much bother about religion. But these also human being, part of human being, important part of humanity. So we must find ways and means to reach these people about importance of moral ethics. Then we must find more secular way to carry message of ethics. So that I usually call universal value, whether religious-minded or non-religious minded.
No difference.
No differences. So now again I want to make clear, among my friend, some people have great reservation, the secular ethics, because they consider secular means, the very meaning of secular is some kind of rejection or disrespect about religion. But in India's constitution itself based on secularism. And Mahatma Gandhi and some other sort of leaders, their way of thinking is very, very secular way, but meantime very religious-minded. So when I say secular, does not mean rejection or disrespect religion, but rather respect all religions and no preference about this religion or that religion. Equally respect. So that's meaning, according some Indian, that's the meaning of secular. So when I talk secular ethics,
this is the meaning.
With that meaning.
This is the meaning.
So I usually call the affection, human compassion, these are universal value, and these, some extent, biological factor. So itself is a secular ethics. The way to promote that also secular way, without touching religion. Simply use our common experience, common sense, and scientific findings. One important, we come from our mother. All, I think, few thousand people here, all come from our mother. And at very young age, I think except a few cases, otherwise I think one's own mother take fullest care and provide us maximum affection. That's the way, and mother's milk. That's the way we survived, we grown up. So we can see those children who at a young age, who experienced fullest care from mother, their mind, their mental state, as well as the physical state, their education, everything much more smooth. Then, most important, rest of their life, they can show affection to others. Whole life remain more kind-hearted person. Then those children who at early age lack of mother's care and sometimes even abuse, then these children physically also suffer, mentally also suffer, and most important, rest of their life always remain cold and difficult to respond to others' suffering, right? When they saw others suffer. Sometimes there's not much feeling about others' pain. Then easily kill like that. So that's our common experience. Just at press meeting, I mentioned my own case, and occasionally I mentioned my own case. My mother, just a villager, villagers of women, farmer, no education, illiterate.
Illiterate. Yeah.
Illiterate, but a very, very kind one. So sometimes I feel, at that time, of course, my part, no appreciation of my mother's kindness. Even I manipulate, I think I take advantage. So at the press, I mentioned, my mother's kindness actually, in a way, spoiled me. So I become more aggressive. My mother, often carry me on the shoulder. Then I hold my mother's ear. I want to this side, go that, and this side. So one young boy, such a sort of stupid bully on one's own mother. So I think my mother's kindness a little bit spoiled me. So now these days, I really feel, I have certain amount of compassion that actually the seed which I received from my mother, that's the seed of today's my compassion. So I really feel grateful to my mother. So everybody, generally speaking, it's the same sort of experience. So everybody, come our life, where? Begin our life under mother's affection. So, now here, the affection, in some extent, or affection here, I usually make distinction. Love, compassion, affection, biased one, and unbiased one. Biased one, limited. Unbiased one, infinite. The biased one is more simultaneous.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. And that very much related with biological factor. Because for survival, that affection is a need. So we can see birds, dogs, cats, all these, their offspring, survival of their offspring at a young age entirely depend on others' care. So therefore, the affection from biological factor come. Then those animals, such as turtles, and also butterfly, these flies, you see, their survival not depend on mother's care. So there is no affection. I often telling and wish some experiment, some investigation. Those turtle mother lay down egg, then left. No kasoda. Never meeting. That's nature. Nature creates that way. So therefore, the young turtle, if we put together young turtle and their mother put together, I don't think either side have the capacity to show affection. Because not necessary. The rest of mammals, which their survival entirely depend on others' care, then affection comes. Because affection brings energy. Energy brings the action, even sacrifice their own life for the sake of their children. So this is biological factor. But biological factor, spontaneous affection, that is limited. And everybody at a young age, we very much appreciate that. Then grown up, and our intelligence become greater. The basic human good quality then become
less and less.
Not balanced. Then the aggressiveness take the upper hand, and basic human good quality then become weak. So now here we need effort out of awareness. These basic values, basic quality, good quality, now must nurture to sustain and further strengthening. Now here training our mind with awareness of the positive thing, usefulness. Then through that way, with effort, training, and increase these
qualities.
This quality. Then with help of training, with help of wisdom or awareness, then these biased affection become unbiased, infinite. That's truly loving kindness. So now the previous one, there's unbiased or love, compassion, very much mixed with attachment. The second one, unbiased one, detach. So now here important is, firstly, realize the positive emotion, such as affection, compassion. At individual level, very important, bring more inner strength, inner comfort. With peaceful mood, we can handle better all problems. Agitated mind, difficult, often become wrong method, wrong way handling the problem. So, because logically, whether even you say harming other people, you should follow realistic method. Then effective harm
countermeasure.
ka.
Effective measure.
Then more suffering, more pain can put on them. If your method unrealistic, then the other may laugh at you. So therefore, any action with certain purpose, carried realistic way, the desired purpose can fulfill. Unrealistic approach often fail to bring the result. So therefore, in order to carry realistic approach, it is very important to know the reality. Agitative mind cannot see the reality. My American scientist about mind, one time I met in Stockholm, in Sweden, and he told me when people lost anger, then the object which you feel angry, that object appears negative. So there, the negativeness, actually 90% of that negativeness is mental projection. This is exactly Nagarjuna stated. When our destructive emotion develop, the object, the negativeness, much exaggerated. Similarly, attachment, also the positiveness of that object also exaggerated. So, with that, you can't see the reality. So then, with that, any method, any sort of approach become unrealistic. So there are also calm mind, balanced mind, to look the object from various ways, from different angles. Just one dimension, you can't see the reality. We must look from different dimensions. Then you can see the reality. Then carry any action become realistic action. So calm mind, compassion brings calm mind. That help to firstly open our heart to other. Through that way, that's one thing. Then calm mind also provide our brain which can judge the reality, which can investigate about reality. Also is more effective. So the compassion brings two positive things. So that is suppose ethics, and then through that way, as I mentioned before, they really see now, according to today's reality, whole world just like one entity. In previously, United States isolated, and the European continent, each country, more or less complete independence. Now today's reality, no longer that. Everything interconnected, interdependent. So under that circumstances, according to that new reality, the concept of we and they is no longer relevant. Must look whole world as one entity, just we. So the mind of compassion also, you see, immense helpful to bring that kind of, that kind of attitude. So since such things brings more peaceful, more joyful, less problem, so it called ethics. So, that doesn't matter.
Lari na.
Choose Shiva Sajuri.
Lar chiba karadu.
Choose Shiva Mare.
Lari.
So I think, okay, then question. So one thing I want to tell you, I'm nothing special. I'm just another human being, just like you. So when you listen my talk, you must feel, oh, I'm listening another human being, which we all have, as just a human being, so we all have sort of same potential. So therefore, from that person's sort of experience and relevant to yourself. If the audience consider Dalai Lama is something very special, then my talk becomes useless, because you see, oh, you feel, oh, Dalai Lama is something very special. We can't do, we can't follow, you see, his experience. That is silly. And sometimes you see, people, even you see, they believe Dalai Lama have some special sort of
Healing power. Healing power.
Oh, healing power. So sometimes I told, since my operation, so if I have real healing power, then the surgery is not necessary. So the surgery itself clearly sort of shows I have no healing power. So we are same. That is very important. Then we can communicate. And from my experience, you may get some benefit like that. That's all now.
How would you advise college students who are engaged with social and political issues apply their passion for humanity to the world, considering the inevitable corruption in all areas of life, government, state, church, etc.? And how do you not become disheartened? How do you not become disheartened by these continual disappointments? And if people do not or choose not to live up to your standards?
Then firstly, our human society, the negative things bound to happen. But meantime, even these corrupted people, sooner or later, they have to go. They will go. So you, college student, now you are the part of new generation. So as a result of found faults of these older people, my generation, or the chancellor also, I think, my generation. So my generation, in some extent, a little bit corrupted. Now, seeing their sort of wrong, faults, now you yourself should not follow that and try to create new healthy society. That is your responsibility. New healthy society cannot sort of develop or cannot bring by government regulation, but from family, from individual. Healthy individual, mental healthy, outlook, wiser, right? And that way, and your family becoming more sort of healthier mental attitude, and byproduct, physical health also come automatically. Then one family, 10 family, 100 family, 1,000 family, that means community. More healthier, more compassionate community. One my Mexican friend once told me the zone of peace in their own area, some family group, they create sort of in certain area zone of peace. So within that is a quarrel, sort of what's the fighting. Arguments should not take place. So that also I think good. Finally, our vision should be whole globe, whole world should be demilitarized, a zone of peace. But for that, step by step, we have to create step by step. So, your own area, some kind of zone of peace. Within there, any problem happen must find peaceful solution. Problem there. But that way, I think, and then also, I often say telling people, 20th century becomes century of war, century of bloodshed. Now, problems still remain there. So, using violence in order to solve problem is wrong method. It proved. Therefore, now this century, we should make effort. This century should be century of dialogue. So here, in order to carry these sort of vision, we need external disarmament and internal disarmament. Internal disarmament, which just I'm talking to increase our affection, compassion, build compassionate family, compassionate society. Then that kind of sort of motivation, that kind of attitude, eventually, you see, carry external disarmament. Okay. So therefore, these should be our vision. So the implementation of that is step by step, like that. So that's young people's sort of special responsibility. And you have the chance, like that. Next question.
What is your view on conserving the natural environment from an ethical perspective?
No, ethical or not, this planet is our only home. And of course, I'm monk, no children. But most of you have children, grandchildren. So you have to think about their life, end of this century and next century. You have to think. So therefore, the environment issue and also our lifestyle, now some connection that. The consumerism, right? Always use consuming and luxury style life. Meantime, population increasing. Now here, I think one critical thing is the gap rich and poor, global level and also national level. One time in Washington, I expressed this is the capital of most richest country, but in Washington suburbs, there are many poor people. So we must deal this problem. So we must this gap is not only morally wrong, but practically also source of problem. So we have to deal these things. So therefore, thinking, so new thinking, right? New look, our lifestyle, and including environment and the nature resources. And kasa cycle just do.
Recycling.
Ah.
Recycling.
Recycle.
Recycling. No?
Recycle these things. I think these are. Oh, I think one good news is many years ago, one time I was in Sweden, in Stockholm. One my friend told me some years ago in river in Stockholm, you see, no fish because of too much pollution. Now they take a special sort of measure about the protection of pollution. Now begin appear some fish. And also one occasion in Germany, actually, you see, I visit some factory, very clean factory, although more expensive, they told me, but the result or effect for environment is immense. So we have the technology, we have the capacity without damaging
Economy.
Yes, without damaging economy, the fullest sort of protection of environment. So these are, I think, wonderful. So think this line and implement. So because of these, so therefore, these are meant for our next generation, next generation. That I think very important. That also some kind of
Ethics. Responsibility.
Ethical responsibility. Like that. I think the world today's economic crisis, in a way, I think good lesson. There's a limitation. Many. Many years ago, when in Japan, their economy rapidly is increasing. So at that one occasion, I mentioned, you cannot take for granted. You see, these further develop.
Economic growth.
So there is limitation. Sooner or later, you will reach some level, then no longer growth. So it is better to
To be prepared.
To get awareness of that limitation. So then after some time, one occasion in Japan, then economic crisis is start. So then my Japanese friend, they agree, they fully sort of appreciate my comment like that. So now America, I think no matter how much of economic crisis, I don't think any danger of starvation. I don't think. Then simple lifestyle and enjoy yourself and more human friend or smile. I think sometimes better. You may find more time. If you become slave of money, then always run here and there, and also thinking only money. Then also sometimes necessary to tell lie, to cheat other people, isn't it? Perhaps more ethical life, maybe better. So maybe God created like that. I don't know. So in any way, you see some crisis happen, then should not look just from one angle. Look from another angle. You may find some advantage. Then at least your mental burden reduce. Right? Good?
These are some personal questions. Do you live in the simplicity of Tibetan ways? Do you still eat tsampa?
Correct.
Tsampa.
Samba.
Alone. And do you have a garden?
Kasa.
Do you have a garden?
Garden?
And do you garden?
Garden chigibe se.
No.
Yes. At Dharamsala, I have one kasa.
greenhouse.
And different variety of flower. I love flower. And sometimes the Dharamsala climate too much wet and hot. So some flower, my favorite flower, like a delphinium, in Lhasa grow very well, but Dharamsala difficult. Otherwise, there's a lot of, and also different kind of new flower also there. So myself gardening now no longer. Just enjoy their color, their shape, and without touching. So let some other people do that labor way.
Hard work.
Oh, hard work. So I exploiting. Samba is concerned. Samba, I think more than 20, 30 years ago, then I didn't have Samba. I did not take Samba. Just bread, like that. Then Tibetan, coming from Tibet, and then I advise, and also I learned some nutritionists say Samba is very good for health. And later I found some Chinese also now fond to take Samba. So therefore, I advise the Tibetan. One time, one Tibetan who visited Lhasa, who visited in Kham area, and while he going and coming back, he spent some time in Lhasa. Then I just casually asked, what kind of breakfast? Then they say, breakfast with the Chinese style, what called shifen, they do.
Rice noodle, yeah. Rice porridge.
Then I a little bit surprised. The people in Lhasa, Tibetan, now the food style, right? Also is changing. Then I start take Samba. While I'm advising the other Tibetan, you should take Samba. So I myself felt must take Samba. So at the initial, because I think at least about 2 decades not touching Samba. So when first time Samba take, there's a lot of problems, stomach. What say? A lot of things come from there. So then I adopt scientific way. One day, 1 spoon Samba. That about 2 days, 3 days. Then 2 more spoon. Then 3, 4, 5, 6 spoon. Then eventually, okay. So now, since then, I always take my breakfast, except in aeroplane. One time, my German friend,
Do you mean? I was a flight attendant, yeah.
In aeroplane. So one time he brought some Samba in aeroplane. I surprised. Otherwise, except in aeroplane, otherwise I always carry my Samba. And actually, you see, one story or one was from, this was back, very useful. When I take long flight, usually, you see, to me, breakfast is very, very important because the previous day, no dinner as a Buddhist monk. Some occasionally I take something, but usually it's no dinner. Therefore, next morning, I always feel hungry. So, in aeroplane, breakfast, some air good, some quite poor. So therefore, I always prepare some bread in my bag. So in Delhi airport, some officials from the government in India usually come to Gaza.
To receive me.
To Gaza.
To see
to
me
very
off.
well.
To see me off. Yeah.
So because of the bread, you see, my back rather thick.
Big.
So then sometimes I explain, I show them, oh, this is my kasuda.
Breakfast.
Kaza. The Tibetan word tophe, tolu se pheko.
It's like a kind of a food sack.
So this, not just a holy thing, but a practical thing, some bread also here. So I think here some Tibetans, I think eating tsamba is very, very important. I think very good for nutrition and also for blood pressure and some other, I think the sugar
level.
Some people say very good for preventive, like that. Then
in the documentary Unwinking Eye,
Kaza.
it's a television documentary program, Unwinking Eye, you meet with scientists concerning the interface between science and Buddhist practices such as meditation. However, you say that neuroscience is unable to truly understand the systems which underlie and integrate science and religious practice without understanding of reincarnation. If we as scientists are to explain phenomena from the perspective of physics, genetics, neurobiology, and so on, what are the major philosophical and systemic issues that have to be dealt with in the sciences in order to make sense of reincarnation?
Now here, firstly, I always keep my mind. From my tradition, that's Buddhist tradition, from my tradition, how much I can contribute for well-being of humanity. Never thinking how to propagate Buddhism. Now, meeting with scientists, discussion with scientists, the main motivation, not seeking some kind of backing
Confirmation.
or
Confirmation.
from science. Simply sort of mutual learning.
Explore.
There are certain things which not that much detailed information in Buddhist science as far as material is concerned, matter is concerned. So very helpful to learn from them. Then science of mind is concerned, Buddhist or ancient Indian thought, quite rich. So we can able to give them some information, new information. So I always say, make clear, our dialogue is not dialogue between science and Buddhism, no, but science and Buddhist science. Buddhism divided three parts: Buddhist science, Buddhist concept or philosophy, Buddhist religion. So, about rebirth or salvation, nirvana, these things are Buddhist concept. Truly Buddhism. So, nothing to do with science. Science about mind, about emotion, and how to deal emotion on this conventional level. Like that. So when we reach now a certain sort of concept, then I usually say, oh, this is Buddhist business. And also some my Christian friend, or late, for example, late Father Wayne.
Brother Wayne.
Brother Wayne.
Wayne Teasdale, yeah.
He very much sort of showing interest about Buddhist practice. Of course, meditation, practice how loving kindness or forgiveness, these things. Yes, these are common. Then one day, he even, you see, showing interest about Buddhist concept of selflessness. Then I told him, this is Buddhist business, not your business. So there's different sort of concept. So everything mixed is not much interest. Like that. So like that. So our sort of dialogue with modern science is Buddhist science, not Buddhism.
My son, Renon, will be in the audience today, and he would like to ask Your Holiness the following question. How will I find my mother, my mom, again when she dies?
I don't know. That's difficult. And practically also, my own mother, I want, where my mother, but I don't know. If you carry some special investigation, then, but that also is not 100% sure. So better to leave it. That's my feeling.
My feeling.
Of course, unless clearly demonstrated convincingly by the child, there are some. One time in Kanpur, in India, I think UP, Kanpur, in UP, Uttar Pradesh, one young girl was brought by her parent, and clearly memory about past life. So that memory is so convincing. So even previous to parent, also now, because of the previous life, at the young age, girl, young age, accidentally
died as a result of accident.
So they knew birth, very clear about past memory. So therefore, they passed the girls or the parent. So, because of the expression of the past memory is so convincing, the previous parent also accepted as their daughter. So one daughter, 4 parent. Such case is something exceptional, quite convincing. Otherwise, many of our lamas, turkus, sometimes it's difficult. The previous well-known, respected lama, the reincarnation, sometimes disgrace. So I don't know. Really, I don't
know. My question is this. I'm trying to practice mindfulness and being in the present moment in a positive way. How does one do this when your partner is doing exactly the opposite?
Karsa, kora komjegi yuse.
Dije.
Chambatine kumgus.
Takada chik tempata.
No.
Tempanji. Nasusu sandati tata konju chena del tapshe karayores.
Konju minduse.
Kodon cheven, the mindful machev. So how does one remain mindful and positive without being judgmental and getting emotional? Takanda susuda tembatea that the chigurta robot did the son in mabaches, Petemba Matembata, and Comaja the chigunas, that telea lungla, that the Yagumares, Tujares, Timala tapshakers.
I think that's why one sort of varsity Kazoda, Timbi Jinjilia, Cho, Sosutajo Timbasudua. But then your friend, of course, the important thing is warm-hearted person, then if that is there, then no problem. Occasionally, get some permission from her, and you spend some time meditation. And if proper permission not come, then you should part doing.
So you need to take into consideration her wishes and her feelings.
You should take your wife as your teacher, your master, at least in your home. So should
respect her. Yeah.
Should respect. Provided that wife is good wife, then go that way. So that is one consolation survey. Consolation for monk, celibate person. Now we are truly independent. The married person, of course, short moment, very happy, but actually half your freedom lost. Yes.
Do you think it is possible to be a political leader and a religious leader at the same time, and at the same time be effective at each job?
Basically, no contradiction. Right? Religious person, religious leader, at the same time, the political leader, as an individual level. But as an institution, I think the former, at least the last, I think, nearly 400 years, the Dalai Lama institution become head of both temple and spiritual. I think that outdated. So therefore, since 2001, we already achieved the political leadership must come through election. So since then, my position is semi-retired position. So that's much healthier. And the system, I think democratic system, in spite of some drawbacks there, but still, democratic way is the best way. So we also, implement that. So I think as far as democratization work is concerned, we, small refugee community in India, much advanced than People's Republic of China. That's clear. That's very clear. I think that's all.
That's one last question. Last.
Yes. I think still
Okay.
15 minutes.
My question is, how does one stop the internal struggle and keep the peace in the face of stress, such as financial worries, relationship problems, and physical pain, and so on? When life becomes such a hard work, how do you maintain a peaceful and happy heart?
Mind, like matter, many components.
There are many components.
Many components. Even tiny flower, lot of particles. Then bring shape, color, life, all these things. So similarly, mind, not just one single absolute one. No. Many elements. So as I mentioned earlier, healthy mind. Firstly, of course, compassion, these things are important. And also wisdom or intelligence, also very, very important role. Then each compassion, practice of or training of compassion and the training of intelligence or awareness, many other elements. And then, as external thing, the development of the flower need certain time. Time factor also important. So similarly, our mental change, transformation of our emotion also take time. So the regular effort, consistently, very important. One short period, rigorous sort of training, then nothing, then again, not good. Like flower, they're watering, sun regularly, not too much, not
Too little.
too little. So similarly, training of our mind, also quite similar. We take various sort of aspects. Right? Some Tibetan master say, learn all. And tenzing lo shukcharu duguduna midawa samdons. Chig tawa tanjog lidin le tagazik toname besuchigduna tanjog denjinga zo samdons. This sungdoga tenzing lo shukchamu yuguduna ya dame ba zo samdons. Zan korko kudu lo jaya di kajun shadu. And like a physical health, the immune system, if immune system good, then some viruses, some viruses may not disturb much. But if your immune system, basic body's element weak, then even the tiny sort of germs or virus, it can create a lot of problem. Similarly, mental health is concerned. Your basic mental attitude is sound. Then, such as these sort of unfortunate things happening here, may not disturb much. But your basic mental attitude is weak. Then even tiny problems bring a lot of ups and downs. So now here, I think firstly, according to Buddhism or according to Jainism, which concept law of causality. Then all facilities which we consider something positive, ultimately all are under karmic or ignorance.
Domination.
So anything which under domination of ignorance is essentially suffering. So when we face some problem, it simply indicates its ultimate nature. So nothing sort of surprising. The body, in spite, take maximum care, some problems. That shows its basic sort of nature is suffering nature. That's Buddhist viewpoint now. There are three levels of suffering. Suffering of change, and suffering of
conditioning.
Suffering of conditioning.
Conditioning.
So understand these things. Then there will be no surprise. Oh, it's quite natural. Isn't it? Now, for example, some people say, even they avoid to mention death.
The word death.
Word death. And also, you see, they difficult to admit old age. More kasadi, nima.
Wrinkles.
More wrinkles and more difficulties. Oh, some old ladies, some old gentlemen, even their
Knees
knees
shaking.
Shaking difficult, but try to show perfect that way. So that's unrealistic attitude. So here now, a person's attitude, old age, right from the beginning, this is part of our life. And to become old, feel happy. I live so long. And also, the sort of each stage, there's its own beauty. Young, very young, is beauty, I feel, very honest. They don't know how to tell lie. Very good. I think human positive quality, at that time, I think very fresh. Then, of course, then eventually, another level of life, sort of more able, feeling of more independent, and can do more. That also is its own beauty. Then become old, a lot of experience. That also, its beauty. So young one seek advice from their experience. So old people then can tell them advice from their own experiences. Isn't it? But you see, the young age, there's drawback. Middle age, drawbacks. Old age, drawbacks. Should know that. And finally, we have to go. That's part of our life. So logically, there is beginning, there is end. So nothing surprise. So therefore, mentally, knowing these things, then some problems happen. Then you feel, okay. That's quite natural. I think that's important. I think many Tibetans generally, in spite of many sufferings, they usually have the feeling or concept due to my karma. Less mentally, less agitation, less anger. So those unfortunate things happen, not just pointing on this person, this people, this country created that suffering, that much less. Of course, among the conditions, the people or country also involved. But equally, my own karma involved. So then, the intensity of anger to blame, much less. Result, much happier. So therefore, the basic mental attitude, healthy mental attitude, is very key factor. Then some problem here and there can handle more easily. The basic mental attitude is weak, then very difficult. So how to build healthy mind? And if you believe God, yes, think God, and certain things generally consider bad, but there must be some reasons. God is full of compassion, full of energy. So that also helpful, isn't it? Then, non-believer, fact is fact. The Shantadeva's sort of advice, catches yourself.
The Buddhist Master Shantideva gives an advice that if the problem is such that if there is a solution, there is no need to worry about it. If there is no solution, then there is no point in worrying about it.
So that's a very realistic attitude. Things are beyond our control. But then too much worry, too much anger is foolish. And accept that. So I think realistic approach is, I think, very important. And my own case, of course, I cannot say my action is realistic. I cannot say, but basically, when some problems face, I always try to look from different angle. For example, we lost our own country, but me personally, the last 50 years, I think best period to learn from others' experience. Many people who brought different tradition, I had opportunity to learn from them. And opportunity to learn from scientists. And also having opportunity meeting with various people, rich, poor, beggar, AIDS patient, or leprosy,
Lepers.
and a spiritual leader, very useful. Each time I can learn something. Gain experience. So if still, I suppose in Lhasa, in Potala, in holy place, and remain as a holy person, I don't think these sort of experience can get. So therefore, looking from that angle, of course, lost our own country, a lot of suffering inside Tibet. That's sad. Otherwise, me personally, very fortunate. So sometimes I really feel gratitude to Chinese communists. Ultimately, they create using this opportunity. So good. Like that. So looking from various angles. Then another thing, one face problem. You must look that problem from distance, from holistic way. Then that problem become smaller. If you just look that problem closely, then immense. But from wider perspective, 6 billion human beings there. Each one have some problem. I think here, few thousand people here. If we ask each one, I think each one have some kind of problems. No single person who have no problem. And I think last several sort of generations, same experience. In the future, till humanity remain this planet, problem is endless problem. So that's the nature of life. That's the reality. So looking that, then your mind something
Opens up.
something open, so helpful. So now for, I think, exact time. So good night. So yes. One thing. I want to say. I want to thank organizer this opportunity, and also thank the large number of audience. You really, showing,
Paying attention.
being attention. I very much appreciate. Then particularly in your university, with some program, study, Buddhism, these also some Tibetan sort of things. I very much appreciate. Thank you very much.